These are the best physical media finds from the local thrift store. Let's talk about it. What is up, everybody? I hope you are all having a good day, night, evening, whatever. Last month, I celebrated my 2-year anniversary of being a blue tuber. I've been a YouTuber for a lot longer. I think I started making YouTube videos when I was 15, doing metal vocals. I used to be a death metal singer and that kind of stuff. Long story. But when I decided to get into the BlueTube universe, one of my first videos was Blu-ray hunting at the thrift store. And ever since then, it's been a kind of pastime for me, going to the local thrift stores, checking things out, going to local used movie stores and those used physical media stores and seeing what I can find for a good price. Because even though we all love to pick up the latest and greatest of releases, for me as a newer, collector, I was missing a lot on a few titles. But we're going to be talking about some of the gems that I found through sifting through bins, used bins, and dusty old thrift stores. Before we get into that, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe because it really helps push the channel. And it's free, so why not, I guess? I don't know. Alright, so starting off with, Blu-rays. They're not rare, but when they have a good selection, it's nice. You mostly find DVDs and VHSs, but the last thing that I would expect to find are 4Ks, and I actually found 2 4Ks at my local Value Village, or as it's known in America as Savers. I didn't know that, little fun fact. So yeah, Savers. Is Savers as much of a ripoff as it is here in Canada, like $5 Blu-rays? But when I found a $5 4K, because they price it the same, because obviously it's such a rarity where they're not even gonna understand what it is. So that's cool if you find a 4K for $5, which comes out to about $3.70 for a 4K Blu-ray. And that sounds pretty good to me. One of the 4K finds that I found from my local thrift store was Peter Rabbit. I have yet to pop it in the player yet, but I loved me some Peter Rabbit as a kid, and then I totally forgot that there was a movie. I think there's a sequel too, and I'm like, you know what, this sounds interesting. And then I realized that they hired James Corden, of all people, to voice act for Peter Rabbit. Like, why would you get the most disliked and most unlikable person to play a childhood hero, I guess? It sounds very weird, but it's a $5 4K, or a $3 4K, technically American. So as a 4K D-Ray says, we don't care about the title, as long as if it's a cheap enough 4K, I'll buy it for any price just to add to the collection. So yeah, Peter Rabbit on 4K. I think it comes with a digital code. It does. So if that works, that'll be cool. Let me know. But yeah, it's also weird because it's a Sony Columbia Pictures release, but here in Canada, a lot of the Sony releases have the clipper case. Case in point. Here is a TriStar, which is also a subsidiary of Sony, and this has these terrible eco cases, which I absolutely hate so much with a burning passion. But yeah, Peter Rabbit on 4K, found this at the thrift store for $3. That was a pretty cool find, if I do say so myself. And then the next was a more, I guess, approachable film for my taste, and it's a Western film by Timothy Woodward Jr., and that is Hickok. I know this is already a budget title, but I found this at the thrift store for again, $3. So I decided to pick it up. I've seen a Timothy Woodward Jr. film before called Silencer. I actually did a full in-depth review with movie clips and all that kind of stuff. But I did not like that movie whatsoever. But this has a better cast of actual actors. The movie that I watched called Silencer was full of UFC fighters, and it wasn't very good because there wasn't very good actors. But there was Danny Trejo, so I guess you get the trade-off there. But yeah, this stars Luke Hemsworth, Trace Adkins, Chris Christopherson, and Bruce Dern. So for the most part, formidable actors. And it's a 4K, it's a Western, and I got for $3. So I thought, you know what? That's insane. Even if it was Frozen 2 or something, if I found it at a thrift store, actually that's a lie. If it was Frozen 2, I probably would have left it there on the shelf for maybe a kid or a dad who wants to watch it with their kid. But yeah, Hickok, when I found it for a cheap price, I'm like, yeah, I'll pick that up. Sure. Hickok, sure. Here we got some boutique Blu-rays here that I found at the thrift store that was insane. I found the Inglorious Bastards, again with this goddamn clipper case. This is a Severin release. I got this for $3 Canadian, so I don't know how much that is in American. That is $2.25. So $2.25 for a Severin Blu-ray release. Pretty good, and it's actually a pretty good film too. So you got Bo Svensson and Fred Williamson in the Inglorious Bastards. A pretty fun, dumb, silly movie, but it's such a romp and I love it. And for $2.25 for a Severin release on a 50 gigabyte dual layer disc, and it looks decent too. So that, I would say that was a pretty successful thrifting trip there. And then another one that blew my mind that I was able to find it for so cheap. This is the Italian zombie film, You Love It or You Hate It, and that was Zombie, the Blue Underground release of Zombie. Now I know there's a 4K release that looks phenomenal, and you know, if you're a huge fan of it, yeah, I guess so. But it's like 50 bucks. You know how much I got this for? I got this for, translated to American, I got this for $2.90, so $4 Canadian, so $2 American. That's insane of a price to get this at. This is actually a pretty good release. The 2K restoration, I watched this last year during Halloween. It looks pretty good, so it's hard for me to go from a pretty good looking Blu-ray release that I got for $2 and then try to justify getting the 4K for like $50, so a $48 increase. But again, it is a great looking disc. I rented it out to do a review for it. Yeah, Zombie Flesh Eaters for $2. Now that is a pretty heckin' good pickup, if I do say so myself. I was floored when I saw it at my local Goodwill, and I was like, damn, okay, sheesh. I don't know if I can show any of this gore or not, but yeah, that was a really exciting, wild, you know, find. Now getting into more boutique stuff, I was able to find this at a secondhand store for about $15. So how much is that? I guess that's a normal, like $10 for a Scream Factory Blu-ray, and that is Psycho 2. This didn't come with the slipcover. I made this myself, but yeah, Psycho 2. When I saw it for, you know, 10 bucks, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll get that for 10 bucks. Just because I'm just so intrigued about where the franchise would go. This is my plans I'm planning to watch this upcoming spooky season. But yeah, and I heard it's actually a decent film, you know. Anthony Perkins really does carry this series after, you know, obviously the death of Alfred Hitchcock. I think this came out like the year of or the year after he passed away. It was a very rushed sequel, but I've heard like decent things about it. Even the third and the fourth films are actually like pretty decent. And I know Arrow is doing a 4K box set. I think that's a UK exclusive or not, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Scream Factory released a bunch of the in standard Blu-ray. So for 10 bucks, I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good find if I do say so myself. And it gave me more incentive to create a custom slipcover for that. Just for funsies, you know, just as a hobby. Because I do really enjoy making those. And then I got a couple Criterions here that I also got from the secondhand store. Starting off with the Fisher King. I got this for 15 bucks. Usually these go for around, no, 17 bucks. Usually these go for around $24. But, you know, 17 bucks when you translate that to US is $12 American. So I would say that was a pretty good haul, and it looks pretty good. I know there's a 4K out there that came out fairly recently for $12. You can't really pass up on a really good Criterion Blu-ray, and it comes with everything. It comes with the insert. I think this is a poster, I believe, and then the disc and everything. So that was a pretty good score too. $12 for a Criterion, and then this one was a showstopper for me because I got this for 14 Canadian at another used store, which comes around $10.40 American, and that is this beautiful. I think this is also out of print too, because when they reprinted it, it came in that standard kind of clamshell Amory case. But this is the digipack version of Ishiro Honda's Godzilla. I made a hunting video when I first found this in the wild at that same secondhand store. It wasn't just movies, I think they had books and stuff like that too, so I won't classify that as like a movie store. But yeah, Godzilla. Now, I really love this edition because I believe this is out of print because I went hunting, if you haven't seen that video of me going to Buffalo, New York to hunt for Criterions at the Barnes & Noble. They had the Godzilla Blu-ray, but it was just in that Amory case, and it wasn't the actual digipack. Because this is an insane digipack. I got this for $10, and it comes with the absolutely beautiful pamphlet that has all the really cool essays and artwork and that kind of stuff. But if you've never seen this edition of it, it has some stellar artwork. Obviously, you get that nice card quality slip case that has fantastic artwork on it. But you also get this. It's also one of those trifold digipacks that have really nice artwork on it. But what's really cool about this one here, it has inside artwork on it. But what's cool is that it's not just if you open it up, it's normal. No, if you open it up, it's a freaking pop-up book, like in the style of like a pop-up book of a digibook. So that is really, really cool. I don't know if they've ever done that since, where it kind of involving more gimmicky artwork, but I mean, I like it. I mean, I know it's not very practical and it won't get much use out of it, but it's still one of those kind of things where it's like, you know what? I like that they added a lot more effort into the actual kind of art design of the actual case. It makes it feel more premium. But I believe this is an older release, but it still looks pretty good. This is from 2012, because I know Criterion took a long time for them to get into the Blu-ray game. I don't know if this is that early though, but yeah, Godzilla Criterion, the out-of-print digibook. I believe it's out of print, so that is a huge score for $10. Heckin' yeah, Godzilla, Ishiro Honda's Godzilla. Now, would I ever get that big box set? Probably not, because I'm mainly a fan of the first movie. The other movies, they kind of delve into the kind of insanity and get a bit silly. And then next are two out-of-print, pretty rare titles. One of them isn't rare anymore because I believe they just announced a reissue. I think Scream Factory or Shout Factory is doing a reissue. But this was a Canadian exclusive of the Wallace and Gromit Complete Collection. This comes with the 4 films. A Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, A Close Shave, and A Matter of Loaf and Death. This is still like sealed. Like it's still like perfectly saran wrapped. This is factory sealed too, so it's not like one of those like shitty shrink wrap jobs. I know this came with a slip cover, but there is, I'm glad to find this in the wild. And I got this for $4.99, which again is a steal for this, because I think it's going for like $60 on the aftermarket, which whatever. I mean, I'm not going to sell it because I grew up with Wallace and Gromit and those stop motion animation films, watching it in school when the teacher would bring out. Remember when for people my age and around, I guess maybe in the 90s and the 80s, when the teacher would bring out that trolley, and it had that big CRTV, like that really clunky CRTV that was strapped over a head, and they had the VHS player, and they'd play VHS tapes like on like the last day of school, or the day before summer, or the day before March break, those kind of things. They'd always play Wallace and Gromit, and they'd always play Blank Check for some reason. I don't know why. So Wallace and Gromit does have a very special place in my heart, and I wanted to watch this so badly because I know these are probably the highest quality versions of these films. It's just, it's rare. So, like, obviously, I don't really have plans on reselling it, obviously, because I could get something out of it, but like, I don't know. I don't want to, but it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Where it's like, it's not the fact that I know it's worth a little bit, but it's like, I don't plan on reselling it, but it's like, that's still that kind of collector thing in my brain. Like when there's a few action figures I own in my collection that are pretty rare, but it's like, I want to display it and have it posed really nicely because it's in the box just like this. But yeah, I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit, the Complete Collection. I know this is out of print. I think it's a Canadian exclusive, I believe, and it didn't really get a physical media release anywhere else. But I could be wrong. But and now they're doing a re-release with a whole other, I think it comes with more films and a slipcover too. And the last thrift store gems that I found was this, what's it called? Mill Creek double feature of Galaxina and the Crater Lake Monster. Now I heard this was also pretty rare and out of print, so I saw, a lot of these Mill Creek Entertainment, double pack features have been coming around a lot in the secondhand market, but Apparently this is the one of the rare ones, because I know I found one with Donnie Yen. There's like a Donnie Yen 2-pack or something like that. A Chow Yun Fat 2-pack or whatever. Yeah, I heard this one was rare. So I didn't pick it up because it was rare. I picked it up because it looked absolutely insane. Specifically the Crater Lake monster. I looked at the Letterboxd reviews and they both have pretty low scores. But if it looks like a fun romp, and it looks like, you know, worth be fun. And it's like, it was like $2 of Canadian. How much is $2.99 or $3.99 Canadian to US? That's like $2.97. So yeah, and I think it's going for like $60-$70 American on the eBay and stuff like that, which again, I probably, who knows. Those are my highlights from the last 2 years of thrifting. Hopefully it doesn't end here. Obviously I was excluding a bunch of Criterion DVDs and that kind of stuff, but those aren't really, you know, rare or expensive or out of print or whatever, or as exciting as these, even though some of these, like these 4Ks, are extremely cheap on the, I guess, on the secondary market. But it's just, it's wild. It's crazy to see like 4Ks at the thrift store. But yeah, so that was today's video. Just a little fun video just to discuss my passion of shopping, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know down below, what was the coolest find at a thrift store you've ever, you know, stumbled upon? I've been hearing rumbles of people who are finding that what's that Kevin Smith movie that I keep forgetting about, that's out of print because Harvey Weinstein owns it, something like that. Dogma, that was what it was called. Dogma, that Blu-ray. You never know. Check out your local pawn shops, your secondary stores, your thrift stores, and you never know what you might find. So that was today's video. Please have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning. Whenever you're watching this, please stay safe. God bless. Peace. Cheers. Long live physical media. And until I see you guys next time, have a good one. Cheers.